that keep up with everything you do this holiday season, from late night projects to outdoor adventures, or even for a great gift. Southern States, North Mechanic Street.
One of America's great radio stations, proudly serving the community since 1976. 1270 AM. WCBC Cumberland.
Also at WCBCRadio.com. 9 a.m. Why does Tim Brook Kia have such a high retention rate with customers? Stop in and see for yourself. The following is a special presentation of WCBC Sports. This is Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC, and brought to you by the Kensington Assisted Living on Baltimore Street in Cumberland and the Country House, specializing in Alzheimer's care on Cumberland Street in downtown Cumberland. Saturday Morning Quarterback hosts are Rock Cioni and Dr. Jim Zamagias, and the WCBC Sports team with lots of information about the week in sports.
Good morning. It's Saturday Morning Quarterback. Glad you could join us today. Football last night and football today, and we love these doubleheader, tripleheader weekends. This is Jim Zamagias on with Rock Cioni, Adam Sterne, Brad Reed, Mike Connelley, and Tony Orndoff. Our colleague Garrett Eagan is in Monroe, New York. He'll have basketball for you today. Right now, let's start off with our scoreboard. Mike Connelley.
Thanks very much, Jim. Last night on WCBC, Fort Hill 42, Northern nothing. On Classic Hits 107, Frankfort continues to roll 49-7 over Williamstown. North Marion 42, Kaiser 31. A fine season for the Golden Tornado. Midland Trail 27, Petersburg 12. East Hardy 42, Sherman 20. Pendleton County 60, Greenbrier West 7, Patuxent 48, Washington nothing, Morgantown 56, Buchanan Upshur nothing, Mingo Central 24, James Monroe 14, Boonesboro 66, Lock Raven nothing, Havre de Grace 31, Patterson Mill 14, Perryville 24, Cambridge South Dorchester 21, Green Street 38, Lewis nothing, and Seed 47, Pikesville nothing. Today, Hampshire is at Princeton, Tug Valley at Tucker County, and of course on WCBC at noon pregame, Mountain Ridge at Allegheny with a kickoff at 1 o'clock, and immediately following the Allegheny Mountain Ridge game, AC basketball versus RV Dawson. Also in college football today at noon, Notre Dame is at Pitt. At 1 o'clock, West Virginia is at Arizona State. 3:30, Penn State is at Michigan State. And also at 3:30, the University of Maryland is at Illinois.
All right, and we give the Morgantown score because of Coach Beiser. And when Mike read that Midland Trail score, imagine if you were their broadcaster. Midland Trail trails so-and-so. That would be a problem. What do you think, play-by-play man? Wouldn't that be annoying?
It would be a very annoying situation.
So you just have to hope they're winning all the time.
Yes, you do.
All right. That's it.
Sorry to see Petersburg lose. I'd like to see them lose. I'd like to see them get a victory in playoffs.
You lean into the nickname of the Midland
which
Trail.
is?
I think they're the Patriots.
All right. Very good. All right. And nobody knows where Tug Valley is, and Mingo Central's 4 hours, 50 minutes away. Thank you, West Virginia, and all 55 counties. Well, enough of that. It's time for the 2-minute warning.
We have reached the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
We're coming upon the 2-minute warning. Now to bring us to the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
Our card-playing partner, Dr. Mike Monahan, is jealous of the 2-minute warning. He criticized it, Rock.
Really?
Deal with him next time you see him.
I will.
All right.
Criticize on what grounds?
He seemed to think it indicated that the show was almost over because it's the,
Oh.
But no.
Did you start your clock yet?
I have not.
Thank goodness. All right, Mike Connelley, I'll let you go first.
Okay, real quick, typical Fort Hill performance, domination, and a lot of Braylon Younger. And kudos and hats off to Northern and Coach Stewart. They were feisty as always, and it looks like the future looks pretty good.
All right, Brad.
There's some things in life and sports that are just about how bad do you want it, and we're just going to find out about 1 o'clock how bad Allegheny wants this.
Adam?
Class 2A, the only upset, number 11 Clay County upset number 6 Rome County, 44-12. The significance there, Rome County played Frankfort in the state championship last year.
Love that. Rock?
I'm warning the Allegheny fans, you better get out there. You're going to feel our wrath and support the campers today. Kickoff at 1 against Mountain Ridge.
The personal pronoun was our.
Yes.
You want to reduce that to my?
My wrath,
Thank you. All right, Tony?
Browbeating. The browbeatings will continue until morale improves.
Yes, until morale improves.
The Christmas lights are up across the way at Frankfort. Everything is as it should be. They rolled over Williamstown, a team they have never played before until last year. They've beaten now 3 times in 2 years.
I hope the city councilman here is aware that Baltimore Street's closed 4 straight days to put up the artificial tree.
It's a terrific tree.
Good. All right. According to Doug Wolf, the scorekeeper who turned off the scoreboard
10
right
seconds
away
after the game was over.
He says Fort Hill will be hosting Green Street Academy next Friday, and he says the winner of Mountain Ridge Allegheny will be at Patuxent.
Did we decide where Patuxent is?
Tony knows.
Patuxent, I know.
Oh, I thought it was
know.
Southern Maryland, and I thought you were.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. It is down in that
St.
area. I'm
Mary's
sorry.
County.
Yes, it is right in that area.
Naval station down that way.
Yeah, I'm locked into Mingo Central, so that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
You're happy enough to go there, right?
How much time's left on
10
it?
seconds.
10 seconds. Any final thoughts?
I'm just going to wonder whether or not Rock is going to ask the Allegheny fans to come to the Christmas tree lighting downtown.
Good point, Adam. Very good point. Yes.
And by the way, real quick, Fort Hill did not have great attendance last night. I will attribute a lot of that to the way you have to get tickets. So
I thought we could spend a whole show on that.
We could. That and the.
Yes.
I love that. That is a good beat. All right, that's our opening segment. Thank goodness it's over. And when we come back, we'll talk about those Fort Hill Sentinels. You're listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC.
The holidays touch the heart with joy, laughter, and a special feeling that can't be measured. The staff of Flowerland on Virginia Avenue wish these blessings to you this Christmas season. Place your holiday order to share these blessings now. 301-724-5577.
When the diagnosis is Alzheimer's, the decisions are difficult. Fortunately, there's Country House. Hi, this is Nicole King. Our staff are trained to provide comfort, reassurance, and 24-hour care. 301-777-8717.
Riverside Sports has you covered from head to toe for spring sports, including softball, baseball, track, little league, and tennis. They carry hats, socks, pants, and uniforms, and offer team discounts too. They also have the largest selection of balls and bats in the area, in stock and ready to go. Riverside Sports has everything your team needs from the dirt up, even in the field maintenance supplies and field signs. Why go anywhere else when you can get it all at Riverside Sports, 940 Kelly Road, where your team identity comes to life.
Now's the time to get enrolled for spring 2026 classes at Allegheny College of Maryland. Current student, don't stop your progress. Meet with your academic advisor and get enrolled in the classes you need to finish the year strong. Haven't applied yet? No worries. Submit your admission application now and meet with their advising center staff to help prepare your pathway. Allegheny College of Maryland is committed to helping you achieve your goals. Enroll now at allegheny.edu.
Is your credit so bad that even your grandma won't loan you money?
Come on, Grandma. No, not one more penny.
D&D Motors is here to help you. Bad credit, no credit, it doesn't matter. D&D can put you behind the wheel today. Bring in your driver's license, pay stubs, and a proof of residence, and D&D Motors will take it from there. D&D Motors can put you in a car when nobody else can. Stop by one of our 2 locations, Route 36 Georges Creek or Route 220 in Bel Air. Apply online now at dd-motors.com. D&D Motors.
You're approved.
Saturday Morning Quarterback on 1270 AM, 103.1 FM. Let's check what happened last night in high school sports.
As always, your calls are welcome at 301-722-8255. Well, one thing that happened last night was Fort Hill 42, Northern nothing. Rock, it's pretty cool when your team scores on the first play from scrimmage on a 76-yard pass.
What a play. I mean, Northern comes in there all fired up, and everybody's fired up. And the first play, boy, 76 yards. And against Yoder, Landon Yoder, who's a terrific defensive back, but probably surprised him a little bit. He was, a step and a half behind the receiver.
Yeah. Mike Connelley, your initial thoughts on Fort Hill's victory over Northern last night?
Well, like I said, my 2-minute warning, it was just typical Fort Hill performance. Braylon Younger, 296 yards, 12 carries, 3 touchdowns. That's all Fort Hill really needed. But even their passing game, 5 of 9, 165 yards and a touchdown, typical Fort Hill.
All right, Brad?
Even Northern, who usually, as we've talked about, plays Fort Hill close relatively, just couldn't slow them down last night. It was a dominating performance by Fort Hill.
And one of the things that's really interesting is Northern, Mike, gave up close to 600 yards on defense, right?
591, correct.
But they still held them to 42 points, which again speaks to how hard they play and they don't give up. And Adam, at the end of the game, Northern used all their timeouts trying to get on the scoreboard, and even with that running clock, and they ended the game maybe inside the Fort Hill 10, but they still had that Phil Carr spirit of never give up.
That's what Northern brings to the table. When we saw them play, that was my first game up at Northern, they just try to do something to take you off balance. And they did that to Frankfurt when we were up there. So, I mean, what we noticed even in that game, Frankfurt then came on in the second half and ran away with the game and the score. And what we noticed was they didn't quit all the way up to the final play.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me at all for them to do that, because they play for the future. We talked about Williamstown last night. A lot of sophomores and freshmen, they play to the future. And that's what Northern, I think, did as well.
All right, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have plenty of time to talk about Fort Hill, but just to talk about Northern a little bit, you had a change in coaching, and that is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy transition, and not just any coach, but you're replacing Phil Carr, and I think Logan Stewart's done a great job. And it's exactly what we've been saying. You know, a school like that, a school that size, is going to get talent that comes through every now and then, but what you want to have is a good structure in place, a good support, and it's there. The continuation, the chain of events from Phil Carr to now is the same. So the same spirit. They look like the same team when I saw them against Frankfurt. It's great / infuriating to hear they're still calling timeouts at the end of games.
Oh yeah, it was up at the top. If we were going to rank the top three, Northern take it to the end.
Right.
Last night's in the top three.
But no, great job, and just Northern will keep rolling, and Southern is building back a little bit as well. So Garrett County football still
hanging in there.
Yeah, still hanging in there.
Brad, you interviewed Coach Stewart pregame and postgame. What are your thoughts?
Oh, he seems like a great guy, and was very, very forthcoming and very energetic. And trying to interview somebody after a loss for the last time of the season is tough, and you could see the emotion in his eyes and in his voice. And I think with these coaches, they just want to keep going. They just want to show up on Monday and have practice and keep working with the kids. And when that's over, it's a shock to them.
Yeah, Rock, what was interesting is Coach Stewart said, he pointed out to the boys, his team, this Fort Hill team wins it in the offseason, weight room and all that. But he also acknowledged, as Phil Carr would, there's other sports, too, that they play, how big baseball is up at Northern. So they seem to have it in good perspective.
Well, he mentioned that. Coach Stewart mentioned that. You're right, and I like that. He said they encourage kids to have the full experience of high school if you're an athlete, and I think that's a very positive thing. And to Tony's point about the transition from Phil Carr to Logan Stewart, that was probably helped a lot by the fact that I think for the most part the staff stayed in place, and he was the defensive coordinator under Phil Carr.
Rock, Tony, keeps stats too, as we do, but Northern just cannot score against Fort Hill. That's shut out. That's 3 in a row. Last year down in Annapolis, and then the 2 this year. And so as much as Northern tries and had some beautiful pass plays last night, they did not get on the scoreboard even against the second team.
Well, they almost got, by using those timeouts, they almost got 2 of their receivers killed in the last 15 seconds. But, that's a decision they made. They wanted to get a touchdown against Fort Hill, obviously.
Yeah, I think that means a lot. Tony, any comments from a local fan that you know?
Fort Hill looked good. I mean, they ran the ball, they dominated. It is funny, we're doing this segment to talk about Fort Hill. We're talking about Northern the whole time, but there's just, after a while, there's only so much you can say, which is just that Fort Hill shows up on Friday night, they wear red, they defeat the people that are there in front of them, and then they keep rolling on, and we'll see where they end up, or who they end up playing going forward, but there's no reason to believe they don't end up in Annapolis again this year.
Yeah, Brad, the special teams had some challenges last night. Apparently, Coach Alcar pointed out to you he had a new snapper, and there were a couple snaps were off, extra points blocked, and that's a concern.
Absolutely. He seemed to be more, I don't want to say nonchalant about it than I saw the problem being. I think the problem was huge. They couldn't get off the extra point. They had all sorts of problems. So I guess he thinks when the primary snapper comes back, it all kind of flows back in. But, boy, that looked, as we talked about last night, disjointed.
Looked early season, didn't it?
It did.
But, Rock, I guess when you win 42-0, I like Coach Alkire's attitude, which is, yeah, we'll fix this next week. And they will. That's
fix it. Yep, that's just what they do.
It is. Yeah, Fort Hill looked sharp. They had some penalty problems early. Mike, any memory on penalties from last night for the two teams?
Well, Northern was penalized 4 times for only 10 yards because Fort Hill declined 2 of them.
That's right, yeah.
And then Fort Hill, 9 for 90, and the majority of them came with the personal fouls, and they were late in the ball game in the waning seconds when Northern, as you point out, was trying to score.
I'm going to address those in my booth review.
I got that,
those
too.
Personal fouls.
So,
Rock, we have a sportsmanship award that we give at the end of each game, and maybe you could remind our listeners what we said last night for sportsmanship.
Well, we gave it to both teams because it's such a hard-hitting game, but we didn't see, at least from our vantage point, we didn't see any jawing back and forth, no misbehavior. I think they have, both programs, they have a mutual respect thing going on, and my guess is that that's taught and talked about a lot by the coaches of both teams.
Tony, Fort Hill football and the hyphenated adjective hard-hitting. It was never more evident than last night.
Yeah, we actually talked about something similar with Frankfurt. That's another, they like to do that too, and I think it does separate teams at this level, successful teams, the teams that are interested in hitting and having that be part of their brand of football, and it's good, clean, hard football, but yeah, that's a part of it. And if you're going to come to Greenway, you're going to take your lumps the same if you're going to show up in short gap.
All right, very good. Fort Hill 42, Northern nothing. The Sentinels advance, and Northern, great first season under Coach Stewart. When we come back, let's talk about that team across the river that also had a 42-point win last night. You're listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC.
The right side cuts back sharply to the 15, down inside the 10, dives towards the end zone. Touchdown, Neek Taylor.
Hi, this is Nicole King from the Kensington Assisted Living in Cumberland. We offer a comfortable, safe place to call home for those who need a little extra help or want a carefree lifestyle. 301-777-8800.
Let the shopping begin with a Christmas loan from WEPCO. With rates as low as 5.99% APR, you can slay your holiday spending without the stress. Whether it's gifts, travel, or trimming the tree, WEPCO makes it easy to celebrate your way. Apply today and unwrap the joy of flexible holiday financing. WEPCO Federal Credit Union, an equal opportunity lender. APR equals annual percentage rate. Credit subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Rates subject to change without notice.
The aroma of grilling steak, the unique flavor of seasoned lettuce, toppings, and rolls you've always enjoyed. Downtown Daydream Pasta and Subs, 152 Baltimore Street. Whether you're driving through or live close by, stop by to experience Daydream's again. Any weekday from 11 to 2, enjoy Daydream's daily specials of a small hoagie, fries, and drink for just $13.99. Or a small steak or cheesesteak sub with fries and a drink, just $14.99. Closed Wednesdays. Downtown Daydream Pasta and Subs, Baltimore Street, Cumberland.
Riverside Sports has you covered from head to toe for spring sports, including softball, baseball, track, little league, and tennis. They carry hats, socks, pants, and uniforms and offer team discounts too. They also have the largest selection of balls and bats in the area, in stock and ready to go. Riverside Sports has everything your team needs from the dirt up, even in the field maintenance supplies and field signs. Why go anywhere else when you can get it all at Riverside Sports, 940 Kelly Road, where your team identity comes to life.
The holidays touch the heart with joy, laughter, and a special feeling that can't be measured. The staff of Flowerland on Virginia Avenue wish these blessings to you this Christmas season. Place your holiday order to share these blessings now. 301-724-5577.
The center, Blake Jacobs, has Tyler in a wing to the near side. Double handoff to Tyler. He has it. He's going to march right into the end zone. Touchdown. Frankfurt Falcons touchdown. Braden Tyler from 21 yards out. Number 21 hits pay dirt, and the Falcons are up 20-0.
Now, back to Saturday Morning Quarterback here on WCBC.
Frankfurt 49, Williamstown 7. Tony's at 25 in a row?
25 in a row.
Wow.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about last night.
You look at stats a lot, and you look at the offensive stats, and I was thinking about it, and the numbers aren't as impressive as sometimes you see. Like last week, Frankfurt rushed for 497 yards. This week, they rushed for 275 yards. But most of that was because of very, very short fields. Their defense played incredibly well early on. They forced a number of 3-and-outs. Gunnar Bradshaw had an interception early on that stopped a drive. So the offense inherited great field position throughout the night, and then they just executed. We spoke to Coach Whiteman in the postgame, and he said, we were very vanilla today. We were not trying to do anything really interesting. They did run a counter crisscross that went for a score, but they were trying to just kind of keep everything tight, not try to get to the edge in the corner. But it starts at the line of scrimmage, and their big guys are better than your big guys, or at least they have been for the last 25 games.
And that's a whole new line, correct?
More or less, yeah, more or less. There's a couple of people that have been there. Eli Hesse was a factor, but mostly on second team. But yeah, the starters are, I think, almost entirely replaced. Maybe one person.
Kyle Bennett wrote in today's paper that Frankfurt could have started their drives in the parking lot and scored.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's pretty good writing. Adam, what are your thoughts?
Well, watching the game, I had said early on is all the stats. It's staggering to Frankfurt, and you throw them all out. And what we just watched was the same thing. Brad said it before about Frankfurt. Frankfurt executes. They go out and they have a game plan and they execute it to every last check mark on the list, and they did it again yesterday. And it's all facets of the game. Now they did in the second half. I was kind of proud of Williamstown because they came out and fought, and they made it a game to watch in the second half because it was already 35-0, I think, at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Frankfurt they do what they're supposed to do. Is that right? Is that how I'm supposed to say it, Brad? They do as what you're supposed to do.
I think so. Yeah.
So making sure.
Brad, you've covered Fort Hill and Frankfurt a good bit, both teams this year. Is Frankfurt more consistent, Fort Hill more explosive? How would you contrast the two teams, I guess?
That's perfect. Frankfurt is perfection of execution. Everything they do is perfect. Everything they try is basic, but it's excellent. Fort Hill is explosive. I think, again, looking at the different, Tony's saying how vanilla Frankfurt was. I thought Fort Hill came out last night and tried to do a number of different things that they really didn't need to do. Frankfurt's going to go down and win the state championship on 8, 9, 10 plays. That's all they're going to run. And I think that's the biggest difference.
All right, we have a call. Good morning. You're on Saturday Morning Quarterback.
Hey, good morning, you guys. I called last week criticizing Adam's mic.
How was it last night?
No. His mic last night was terrific, and I'm amazed at his knowledge, man. I'm telling you, he did a terrific job. The whole broadcast was great. I listen to these every Friday night. And you did a great job last night. I just want to congratulate Adam, too. He's got that mic straightened out. He really sounded good.
They both sounded good. I went out at halftime to listen in my vehicle. So I said at one point, Rock and Brad will handle the next segment. And I listened. I thought they both sounded really good, so I'm glad you listened.
Yeah,
I thank you.
Great broadcast. Really enjoyed it.
All right, thanks. Keep listening.
Thank you.
All right, we appreciate that call. Very good. Rock, it is kind of fun to think about that Frankfurt just has this wonderful execution. And as Brad said, Fort Hill came out, started with a 76-yard pass, and they are explosive.
Very explosive. Yeah, Braylon Younger is I haven't seen the Frankfurt kids play, so I don't want to make a comparison. But if there's anybody in the area better than him out of the backfield, I'm really pining to see that person play because there are a certain number of kids, no matter who they're playing, that appear not to want to really tackle him head on. Can't blame him from that, but he runs through people so quickly they end up trying to reach out with arms, and you're never going to bring him down with arm tackling. And to your point about Fort Hill's offense, I think they do show a lot of stuff just to make you have to prepare for it, even if they're not planning on using it.
And Braylon Younger only carried the ball 12 times last night. So, Tony, who's next for the Falcons?
Next, they are hosting Mingo Central, which is I'm gonna go over some of that in the booth review in terms of where that is, but it's far away, and it's very good.
Now I'm in the Wizard of Oz. All of a sudden.
That's basically it. And it's good that Frankfurt is home for them and well, for me as well. And, you know, you open up that discussion now about West Virginia and Maryland playoffs in terms of the regions. I like that you take the top 16. It does involve more travel. West Virginia is a deceptively large state, as I've discovered, covering Frankfurt. But, yeah, they'll bring in the Miners of Mingo Central next week and probably on a Saturday.
Because it's almost 5 hours away.
So, but we'll.
Yeah, and one thing I did do is I complained on the radio about the WVSSAC's point system on how Independence fell from 3rd to 4th as expected, and Frankfurt's potential opponent in the semifinals could be Independence. We will say that's the what ifs, because I don't understand how a team that loses to the #1 team in AAA, Princeton, is their only loss, and yet they fell when the team below them, Philip Barber, went up after getting crushed by Bridgeport, and they have 3 losses. Philip Barber has 3 losses in his head, and I didn't understand it. But yet, I'll give WVSSAC, in case they restrict me and I'm not allowed to be on the air next week because of that, I'll give them their kudos that they got the system right, because only 1 upset. And the rest of the teams.
Did you complain on the air?
Yes, I did.
Good for you.
Yeah. I learned from somebody.
He demanded that the WVSSAC show up at the Allegheny Mountain Ridge game.
Yeah.
They must come to this game.
I think did I do that? I think
that would add a few fans.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, it'll keep Brad from counting them like he did last week.
Now, I'll have other numbers, but I'm going to throw out 50% right now, which is Braden Tyler's number of touches to touchdowns. He had 6 carries and 3 touchdowns, 125 yards, had a touchdown through the air as well. He's absolutely player of the year conversation, 1,500 total yards, something like, 26 total touchdowns on the season.
Those stats are amazing. You'll be thrilled to know that we on the AM already crowned Braylon Younger with that title after last night.
Well,
but I think we can save that argument a little bit.
He's a nice-looking running back.
We can do it for the post-championship edition of the show.
The December 24th
really makes himself,
edition.
a little bit I've seen it, he really makes himself a tough target to tackle.
Let's ask Brad next week when he comes back to Frankfurt, back in the booth, who is the player of the year then, because he'll have seen both players.
Hey, remember that. All right, that's your task. You and those 5 pens you have over there. All right. They're a little low at Carl Belt on writing utensils. Mike Connelley, let's do that scoreboard one more time.
Thanks, Jim. Last night, Fort Hill 42, Northern nothing. Also last night, Frankfurt 49, Williamstown 7, North Marion 42, Kaiser 31, Midland Trail 27, Petersburg 12, East Hardy 42, Sherman 20, Pendleton County 60, Greenbrier West 7, and Patuxent 48, Washington nothing. Today, Hampshire is at Princeton, Tug Valley at Tucker County, and don't forget today, Mountain Ridge at Allegheny, pregame at noon, kickoff at 1 o'clock at Greenway Avenue, and immediately following the football game, AC basketball versus RV Dawson. And also today in college football, Notre Dame is at Pitt at noon. At 1 o'clock, WVU is at Arizona State. At 3:30, Penn State is at Michigan State. And also at 3:30, Maryland is at Illinois.
Everybody in Pittsburgh's excited that the ESPN Game Day crew was there. They haven't been there in over 20 years, so that's a heck of a game. It'll be on. Maybe you can keep us updated on that score, Tony.
Okay, yes, I will. I'll do that, and it will be on now YouTube TV and all that stuff all worked out. So just an update from a conversation Brad and I had at the AC game last week. All straightened out. ESPN on
in your 1 hour pregame.
Yes,
I'm shocked you had time to talk about that. I am not. By the way,
I think we got into the Habsburgs at one point. I mean, it was an hour. We could go on.
This RV Dawson must have been a heck of a guy to have a junior college named after him. Hey, what do you want to call your college? How about RV Dawson?
Sounds like a Winnebago.
That's right. Maybe they have big men inside.
Sounds like a campground.
Right.
About that.
All right. Well, we'll have RV Dawson, and Garrett Eagan can make all his jokes about them later. When we come back, we're going to preview this Mountain Ridge Allegheny game. We are chomping at the bit for this one. Fort Hill, we know where they are, but this is a fight between the kind of the younger siblings going on here today, and we'll see how it turns out. You're listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC.
be a first and goal now at the 4. Adam, you're not looking that I'm putting popcorn in your area.
I smell it.
I don't want you to, just don't want you to knock it over, that's all. And it's going to be Brittingham, and he's going to get in. Touchdown. Frankfurt Falcons, touchdown for Peyton Brittingham from 4 yards out. He's in the Frostburg State University end zone. Reach your own career goals with a degree from FSU. Wherever you're going, it starts at Frostburg.
WCBC, Cumberland.
Mostly cloudy today with rain possible later on, a high of 64. Tonight, rain likely with a low in the upper 50s. For Sunday, a sunny, breezy day and a high of 55. Sunday night, clouds and lows in the 30s. The state of Maryland will introduce an AI model by Anthropic into multiple state agencies to improve service to residents. Claude, an AI virtual assistant, will help residents apply for essential benefits available through the state, including SNAP, Medicaid, and WIC. The technology will also help caseworkers deliver faster support by speeding up the processing of documents. Claude was previously used in Maryland as a bilingual chatbot on the state's Sunbucks program. I'm Kathy Cornwell in the WCBC Newsroom, always on AM 1270, FM 103.1, and streaming worldwide at WCBCradio.com.
When the diagnosis is Alzheimer's, the decisions are difficult. Fortunately, there's Country House. Hi, this is Nicole King. Our staff are trained to provide comfort, reassurance, and 24-hour care. 301-777-8717.
Riverside Sports has you covered from head to toe for spring sports, including softball, baseball, track, little league, and tennis. They carry hats, socks, pants, and uniforms, and offer team discounts too. They also have the largest selection of balls and bats in the area, in stock and ready to go. Riverside Sports has everything your team needs from the dirt up, even in the field maintenance supplies and field signs. Why go anywhere else when you can get it all at Riverside Sports, 940 Kelly Road, where your team identity comes to life.
The holidays touch the heart with joy, laughter, and a special feeling that can't be measured. The staff of Flowerland on Virginia Avenue wish these blessings to you this Christmas season. Place your holiday order to share these blessings now. 301-724-5577.
At UPMC Hillman Cancer Center, when it comes to cancer care, it should be life-changing. As a National Cancer Institute designated comprehensive cancer center, we provide groundbreaking treatments and innovative clinical trials with renowned cancer specialists and a compassionate support system for patients and their families. Discover more at upmchillman.com/life-changing care.
Highlight from last night in high school sports here on WCBC. Now back to Saturday morning quarterback.
Good morning, Saturday morning quarterback, and let's go to the phones. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind this morning? Hello.
Jim, at the risk of stealing your thunder, I want to talk about the officials at the Fort Hill game last night. Were they local?
Brad says they were.
I didn't recognize either one of them, but I begin to think at the end of the game they were getting paid by the hour. They didn't want the game to end.
Well, yeah, you can go ahead and steal my thunder. So I'll, well, first of all, they had this kickoff call, which was crazy. Just for our listeners, the Northern kid forgot that he had to field the kickoff. It was late in the game. It was really weird. So he finally went and retrieved it 1 yard into the end zone. I watched the replay to some degree this morning. And then a Fort Hill kid tackled him, and they threw him for a personal foul. I didn't like that call. What do you think about that one, caller?
I didn't think much of that one. I also didn't understand the call of illegal procedure on the Fort Hill kickoff.
I think it was just offsides. I think it was just offsides.
And then the personal fouls at the end of the game, 2 untimed downs.
Well, and just for our listeners, they were pass plays over the middle. The Fort Hill defenders hit the receiver after the ball hit the receiver, and twice in a row they were flagged. The second one is totally bogus. Totally bogus.
Yeah, I mean, are they supposed to stand there and let him catch the ball? Or is that, I mean, that's how you play defense.
Well, and I only want to see the parts of the replay of that kickoff and those 2 personal foul calls. And also on that final drive, Northern, John Cunningham, Gary Cindy commented on this. The one kid for Northern went in motion backwards. That wasn't flagged. They were.
I don't understand that either. They're not playing in Canada.
No, and Brad told us post-game they were holding the whole game, but I am with you. I know we love Northern and we love their effort, but that is not the official's job to try and give them a chance to score. And those calls are terrible. You're 100% right.
Yeah, it's a shame. And when you get when the state starts signing officials, it's probably going to get worse.
Yeah, I don't know, Brad. I mean, you were closer to it than we were. What are your thoughts about those calls?
I think you summarized it perfectly. The biggest problem was I thought there was a hold on Northern almost every play. That's the only way they were getting off those pass plays is they were grabbing the Fort Hill defenders. So if you're going to look the other way and you know the game's out of hand and you kind of look the other way on those types of things, look the other way on those ticky-tack personal fouls and get the game over. That's how
and just for our listeners, so with 5 seconds left, there's one foul called. So Northern got to run 2 untimed plays at the end of the game, and Rock, it was bizarre. And what the caller said about getting paid by the hour, and they were the second one especially was ridiculous.
Well, I wonder, since we have a problem with getting officials. I don't know who was down there. That's a good question. Were they local officials? Brad confirmed that they were. Maybe maybe give them a little bit of a break. Maybe there's new guys down there, and that's a tough job if you're new to it. But the personal fouls on the passes just didn't make any sense to me.
The problem was in the first half.
You know what's ugly when Zach Alcar's running out on.
I thought that was on the kickoff one. Yeah, and folks,
he doesn't get excited.
Yeah, I'm not into NHFS or whatever the heck it's called, but commercial video does a great job. You just take your mouse and scroll to the end of the game and watch these plays we're talking about. There's no way that a normal teenager on that kickoff is going to say, oh, the Northern kid grabbed it a half second before I got here. I won't touch him. That was a terrible call. And Brad, what the head ref should have done is talk to those guys and said, we're waving this off.
Exactly.
And he had a perfect view of it.
Exactly. I think they should have waved off the other 2 personal fouls. And the problem was, in the first half, the defender, I think it was Saunders?
Yeah.
Hit the receiver and sent him into about next week. And he was down for about 5 to 10 minutes. That hit was far worse than any hit.
But it wasn't a high hit. It was just
a hard hit. It wasn't illegal, but if your brain tells you that's a penalty, that's the penalty. Those 2 aren't. At the end of the game, none of them were actually penalties.
Yeah, and the last thing we are here is Fort Hill apologists. We're just saying what we saw, and it was crazy. Referees, do your job, but that was just out of whack last night. Well, I'm glad we agree on that. Caller, how do you think Fort Hill looked?
Much.
Do you think Fort Hill looked good?
I think they looked as good as they needed to. Sometimes they play up or down to their opponent, and that's not always a good thing. But like you said, Northern always plays Fort Hill tough.
Yeah, they do.
They blew out Mountain Ridge. They blew out Allegheny, and the score really isn't an indication of how hard that game was last night.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
A lot of big plays.
It wasn't close on the scoreboard, but I know we enjoyed broadcasting it. We were into it till the very end. And all right, well, we'll catch you next Friday against Green Street. Thanks for calling.
That's where Sheets is here in town, Green Street, right?
Let us now get to the Mountain Ridge Allegheny preview. Mike Connelley, what are your thoughts as we're 3 hours and 20 minutes from a big kickoff?
I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Excuse me. 11 kids on the field, both teams, and team with the most points going to win because the first game was very well played up in Frostburg.
All right. Rock, we're fired up for this one.
We are. This could be a really, really good game. Neither one of these teams are a threat to Fort Hill. We know that. But it could be a really competitive game and potentially one of the best games of the year.
I had someone text me last night saying, yeah, I'd like to see Allegheny and Fort Hill play again. I was like, are you crazy? I mean, it would
be like football.
It would be a reward for Allegheny. It would mean they got to Annapolis, but my goodness.
I don't think that.
I don't know why anyone would want to.
No.
If you saw the game, you wouldn't want to see it again.
I'm anxious to see Mountain Ridge's new offense and see how how well prepared Allegheny is for that.
And Brad, earlier in the year, Coach Shipe told our field reporter, "Yeah, we're a passing team." Well, that changed, and now they're more of a winning team.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I want to ask him. Are you pass first or you run first now, and what precipitated that change? One of the things about Mountain Ridge is everybody's saying they had this turnaround. They did, but they got beat by Frankfort and Fort Hill in consecutive weeks. Everybody's going to look bad with that schedule.
We have a call. Good morning. You're on Saturday Morning Quarterback.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I got a question. I heard a rumor that they're not taking money at the stadium.
Well, the snack bar is, but if you want to get to the game, you got to order the tickets online. Or does somebody help you at the gate if you have
Is it the GoFan app that you have to get, and you can download the tickets from that? That's what it's been. I don't want to give out bad information, but that's...
So what's wrong with cash?
We're with you. I can guarantee you that's a big reason that crowd was down last night. People my age and older, and even some younger ones, they don't want to fool around with that. They want to come to a game. And, you know, how many websites, apps would one like on one's phone? It is, I think it's a deterrent, but see what the state does here, it gives them control over the funds.
That's the issue.
If you take cash, it's like
communist plot.
Well, I'm not going to blame the new mayor of New York for this. We can blame him for other things, but
communists start over in Russia. They're just trying to sneak in.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your call. We wish it was cash too. Thank you very much.
Wait a minute.
They will help
finish
you,
my
Jim.
point here.
So yeah, no, it is. It looks like it is the GoFan app that you have to download, and you can then get tickets for that for all kinds of events, and then the information that is on your phone. I think a couple years ago, maybe Fort Hill was buying sets of tickets or something and allowing people to come and pay cash at the school. They were doing some kind of workaround. But, yeah, find, someone that can help you download that app. It's GoFan app, and then you purchase it from there.
And I think that's a fair point. Fort Hill has a large following of fans who are older. And speaking for the older set, Mike and I were talking about this. As soon as I see something about online, I turn it off. And no matter what it is, unless my wife's nearby.
I finally added this Park Mobile app. I used it one time in Ocean City for practice. I think I have to use it at Navy when if we get down there. So it's a pain.
Another call.
Another call. Good morning. You're on WCBC.
Good morning. How you guys doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
All right. Let's solve the ticket problem. All you have to do is wait till Wednesday and go up to the school, and Sandy will get your tickets for you.
Ah.
Thank you.
That's very good. Thank you for that tip. We really appreciate that.
I see you guys it every year because I had them on my phone when I got to the stadium. I couldn't find them. Thank God the guy at the gate knew me.
All right. Well, thank you for the tip. And you say Wednesday is the day to go up there?
If they announce Tuesday for tickets, then you can go probably Wednesday, or it might be in the paper that you can go up there and go to the office, or they'll be in the lobby. And you can get your tickets that way.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you listening and calling in.
And just the app is GoFan. Download. I'm just doing I can buy tickets to the Allegheny game right now. So it's doable.
You mean they're not sold out?
No, I did notice we gave grace to local officials who are working. So grace for local officials, no grace for Allegheny fans who may have things to do.
Well, we don't really get on the refs much, but the four of us who were there, and
that is the conversation I had last night was about the officiating.
I'm telling you, it's so easy to go to commercial video. First game you scroll down to is the one from last night. Go to the end of the game, and you'll see what we're talking about. Bogus.
Are we still on Allegheny Mountain Ridge? Because I want to ask a question.
Go.
Which team do you think's under more pressure?
Under more? Oh, Allegheny.
I think so, too. I think Allegheny, this is a big game for them. They put this down as a marker for their season. They've sort of written off the idea of beating Fort Hill, but they want to get out of the region. They're going to have to beat Mountain Ridge today. I think the pressure is on them.
I don't think there's any question, Tony. I think you're 100% right.
All right.
All right,
we'll
that was
find
quick
out.
then.
And just one reminder, usually the team that wins the regular season matchup wins the playoff.
You love to say that, don't you?
Well, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Usually.
It's usually a fact.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and then we'll be back with our number and booth review. You're listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC.
Nobody knows the Fort Hill Sentinels like 1270 AM WCBC.
Hi, this is...
The Cumberland Country Club Board of Directors invite you to join them for breakfast each Sunday. Available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy the delicious entree of your choice from the Sunday breakfast menu with exceptional country club service. Reservations are required. Please call the Cumberland Country Club today.
When the diagnosis is Alzheimer's, the decisions are difficult. Fortunately, there's Country House. Hi, this is Nicole King. Our staff are trained to provide comfort, reassurance, and 24-hour care. 301-777-8717.
Riverside Sports has you covered from head to toe for spring sports, including softball, baseball, track, little league, and tennis. They carry hats, socks, pants, and uniforms, and offer team discounts, too. They also have the largest selection of balls and bats in the area, in stock and ready to go. Riverside Sports has everything your team needs from the dirt up, even in the field maintenance supplies and field signs. Why go anywhere else when you can get it all at Riverside Sports, 940 Kelly Road, where your team identity comes to life.
The holidays touch the heart with joy, laughter, and a special feeling that can't be measured. The staff of Flowerland on Virginia Avenue wish these blessings to you this Christmas season. Place your holiday order to share these blessings now. 301-724-5577.
Let the shopping begin with a Christmas loan from WEPCO. With rates as low as 5.99% APR, you can slay your holiday spending without the stress. Whether it's gifts, travel, or trimming the tree, WEPCO makes it easy to celebrate your way. Apply today and unwrap the joy of flexible holiday financing. WEPCO Federal Credit Union, an equal opportunity lender. APR equals annual percentage rate. Credit subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Rates subject to change without notice.
This is Saturday Morning Quarterback on 1270 AM, 103.1 FM. Let's check what happened last night in high school sports.
You're listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on WCBC.
Good morning. I just wanted to tell you how much I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and this is a question not about football, but have you thought about extending your show into the winter sports?
Well, if our crack sales team and management thinks that's a good idea, we love it, and we certainly have withdrawal on these. I think it's at a perfect time, and I think it's a lot of fun, and we love local basketball too, ma'am, so I appreciate. You know what would be helpful? If you would be so willing to call the station Monday morning and talk to Mary Kleitz, that would really be helpful.
I will definitely do that because I think everybody has withdrawals too when the show is over.
Well, thank you. We certainly have a barrel of fun doing it, so thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am, thanks. Oh, we do have fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice call.
Thank you for that.
Not a lot of people that call and say, please talk more to me. So that's good.
All right,
Normally
we're
the
going
opposite.
to go quickly. Mike, number.
I have two of them, 296 and 591. 296, Braylon Younger, yards rushing with 3 touchdowns, and 591, Fort Hill's total offense, 426 rushing, 165 passing, and that's what I got.
Fort Hill had 440 yards at halftime. Wow.
Yeah.
That is that number is really something. Good job, Mike. All right, Brad.
Brock, is the word turnovers, is that a number?
You'll make it into one, yeah.
Whichever team wins the turnover battle today wins this game.
Yep, 7 turnovers last time they played between the two. Adam?
5-7, 4-9, 6-5, and 4. 57-49 score was WVU women defeating number 15 Duke. 6 ejections. 5 players remained on the court for the entire second half. 1 player had 4 fouls and played over 6 minutes. And if they would have fouled out, WVU would have played with 4 players to finish that game. Brock, when was the last time that a team in NCAA played with 4 players?
It's the Hoosiers moving.
Okay, because I didn't know the answer. I just wanted to pose the question.
Yes, so. And WVU men beat Pitt pretty soundly this week.
Yes, they did, because they got to play Sweet Caroline during the game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Hickory, right? Hickory finished with 4, right?
Rock, your number.
I have exciting numbers, interesting numbers. 18, the number of losses of the teams in the West region coming into this weekend.
Wow.
Between the 4 of them.
Okay.
18 losses. And 93. Today's Petula Clark's 93rd birthday. First celebrity I ever lusted after. We have another call.
She was a wholesome gal.
Yes.
To throw that verb in there is offensive. All right, good morning. You're on Saturday Morning Quarterback. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. You're on the air. Talk to us.
So if you have, and I'm sure probably Mike has, maybe you already said this or not, but how many wins, or what's the record of the teams that have played Allegheny and Fort Hill this year?
What do you? I guess combined records of the schools that have played.
The combined record of the teams. Fort Hill and Allegheny.
Well, we had that earlier in the year. Fort Hill's losses were to teams. The 3 teams had like 1 loss between them, and Allegheny, I think it was 1 loss. Now that was early October. So if Hollidaysburg kept rolling last night, I didn't look up that score today, but yeah, the teams that beat Fort Hill and Allegheny had really strong records.
Could you get that number for the Doc and Rock podcast? Could you have it for that?
Rock specializes in those kind of numbers. So Rock, you're done your numbers. You left off with Petula Clark.
Happy birthday, Petula.
We love Petula Clark. Tony, don't shake your head.
3 for 12. That was the third down conversion rate for Williamstown last night. So they had 12 opportunities on third down, which means they were not getting first downs on first and second. They only converted 3. Frankfurt only 2 of 5, but it was a different story. But
2 of 5.
Yeah, but
boy, that tells you they were rolling.
3 for 12.
All right, my numbers. Braylon Younger averaged 24.6 per carry last night in a playoff game, and 16. That's the number of years since Allegheny has advanced to the state level of the playoffs. It's also the last time they beat Fort Hill. That means what year, Rock?
That would have been 2009.
That is correct. That's our number segment. Now, booth review. Tony, you get to go first on booth review.
There are teams coming from far away. Mingo Central is in Del Barton, West Virginia. It's 5 hours away. It's essentially in Kentucky. If they had drawn the lines differently, it would be in Kentucky. So that game next week for Frankfurt at Falcon Stadium is likely to be a Saturday. And Patuxent is in Calvert County. It's about 3.5 hours away.
Michael.
Okay, the definition of booth review, which I got 2 years ago, comments on strategy, play calling, officiating, etc. Now, enough's been said about the officiating, but I just want to add one thing. Jordan Connell and I, who writes for the paper, several times last night, the referees were marking the ball wrong on the field. So besides these penalties late in the game with a running clock, was it necessary? The game was never in doubt. The referees weren't marking the ball right. So, again, I hate to be critical of referees.
Right.
But, that was another thing besides those late calls.
And then that first down that Northern got, I think it was Northern, they're like, that's a first down. I think they're a half yard short. But, all right, we have another caller. Good morning. You're on Saturday Morning Quarterback.
Yes, I was just calling to say I agree with the previous caller. You should continue the show. It's enjoyable. And my husband had a comment, you should call it fast break in the winter months.
Oh, that's good. I like. There's a few of us here that aren't going to be fast breaking at all. We might throw an outlet pass, but we'll watch the other guys score. Well, ma'am, thank you. And if I could give you the same advice, if you wouldn't mind calling the station Monday morning after 9 a.m., those are the people who make decisions about programs like this continuing. But we do it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. All right, appreciate the call. Brad, booth review.
Real quick, because we're running out of time, can we have more of like a running open and we talk about places we don't know in West Virginia and where they are and how we don't know where they're at? I think that would be fascinating.
And then once you name, so Del Barton, we're just going to say Del Barton over and over.
So we just run it like we start at just running open, and it's just us talking about we have no idea where this place is in West Virginia.
There's plenty of places like that.
Yeah. Tug Valley was a great topic off air. Adam, your booth review.
2, and I'll be quick. The stop clocks in West Virginia for touchdowns when we have a running clock. Way to go, WVSSAC.
What do they do? They stop it?
They stop it.
After scores.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
And to the Hartford Tech women's soccer team in the Class 1A state title game Thursday night, it was not offsides on the second call. MPSSA put a statement out and said that our crew and my call was correct at a no call. So a referee got a call correct Thursday night.
Duly noted.
Yes.
Good job, Am. Rock?
We talk a lot about Fort Hill's offense. I want to just mention quickly their defense as the season's progressed has really, really improved. And I got to mention Kyler Miller. He plays in the middle of that defensive line, and yet count the number of times when the ball goes away from him, either on a sweep, something like that, either side, how many times he's in on the tackle.
All right, Rock, thank you. Booth review. Rock and I attended a funeral yesterday for Fort Hill's starting quarterback from 1963, Dave Price. Married to Linda Price, father of Nathan and Garrett Eagan, very close to Nathan, working with Nathan at the county. And Dave quarterbacked the 1963 Fort Hill 10-0 team, which shut out 8 opponents.
Gave up 21 points, Jim.
Yeah, and they beat Allegheny 7-0. Dave was also a baseball star. He coached baseball and soccer as an adult, and just an all-around great guy. I met Dave at Acme in the 1960s when we moved to Cumberland.
The nicest person you ever want to meet. Rest in peace, Dave.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very well said, guys.
All right. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Saturday Morning Quarterback.
Yeah, I got disconnected twice. I'm calling from Bismarck, West Virginia. I heard you talking about the Allegheny Band, the Christmas tree lighting, and Pet Clark. I think the band ought to play downtown.
Oh, there you go, Rob.
Thank you very much for that.
I like that.
Now it's over. He hit the over.
Love that idea. Oh, my gosh.
Late later, Rock.
Thanks for calling.
Woke up in Bismarck, West Virginia. Don't know how it got here. But
you're there, and you're here.
We don't know where that is. That goes to Brad's segment. We don't know where that is.
No. All righty. Thank you. 1964, late 64, Downtown came out. And my granddaughters loved watching Petula Clark's video of I Know a Place. It's really, yeah, she was great. All right. I think that's enough Petula Clark for today. I think we got it.
Never get enough of Petula.
All right. Boys, any other? I think we could talk about Mountain Ridge and Allegheny a little bit more. Brad, turnovers, you said, is going to be a key.
Could I? Tony and I may be on the same page with the downtown. Is that a Seinfeld episode?
Oh,
Tony?
yeah.
There is a Seinfeld. Yeah, there is a Seinfeld reference.
So back to the regularly scheduled programming. Turnovers, yes. Allegheny could not give up those. I call them cheap turnovers at the end of the game to keep the team alive. They've done that a couple of times. You've mentioned that. Fumbles late in the game, giving the ball back. None of that today. That will cost Allegheny today.
I'll be interested to see what Allegheny does with this revised offense of Mountain Ridge, how they defend it. But it's a huge game for Allegheny. 16 years since they got to the state level of the playoffs. That's a long time.
I think it's a real pride issue for campers today.
Yeah, Brian's talked about preseason. He talked about it after the Fort Hill game. It's big.
Do I get in trouble for mentioning something else from Frankfort?
No, not at all.
Perfect. So the special teams, punting. They hadn't punted since Northern, 5 games.
Wow.
Cole, he gets off about a 40-yarder, 35 or 40-yarder in the air. Unbelievable, because you're only doing it in practice and don't get to do it in a game. And yet Frankfort returns, I don't know what the return yards were, but it had to be close to 150 or 200 yards. They had 3 huge punt returns. It is Frankfort special teams that we have to give our hats to them as well in this big, long winning streak.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Another great show. Thanks to all you callers. We loved hearing from you, and you're welcome every Saturday to do that. Join us at noon today. Mountain Ridge, Allegheny, followed by AC basketball with Garrett Eagan in New York. Many thanks to Chris Myers taking all those calls and engineering here today. So, for Tony Orndoff, Mike Connelley, Brad Reed, Adam Sterne, and Rock Cioni, this is Jim Zamagias for WCBC Radio Sports.
This is has been Saturday Morning Quarterback on WCBC and by the Kensington Assisted Living on Baltimore Street in downtown Cumberland, and the Country House, specializing in Alzheimer's and respite care, located on Cumberland Street in downtown Cumberland. Saturday Morning Quarterback is a production of WCBC Radio Sports. All rights reserved.